It's my first date of 2020.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. Like, I don't know. I've got a girlfriend. At what point do you stop calling, like, doing stuff with your girlfriend at dinner?
It's date night.
Or whatever.
It's still a thing.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. We've definitely been out. No.
I mean, I was feeling the pressure of it being Valentine's Day soon, and I was thinking I need to go on a date.
Yeah.
And then I thought, what better man? What better man out there?
Oh, mate, that's the pressure on me now.
Yeah. Oh, you have pressure to perform here. 100%. Yeah, it's something I thought about a lot recently, about like relationships and stuff, and like, yeah, I'm more chill at being alone now. I've had like a serious relationship and I'm cool now, and I think it's like more than anything about, you know, being aware that like every situation is different. I mean, recently I had a run-in with someone that was in an open relationship, and that sort of like messed with my head a bit, because I couldn't like comprehend like any of that. And like, there's a lot of pressure, but I think the one thing I've learned is, you know, you just need to show love in in more of a right way, and not for any sort of validation. Like, I think a lot of people can, I don't know, be a bit guilty of like, they need the girlfriend, or they need like, it's the same, they need the job, they need this, they need that, and you lose track of like life and what actually drives you, and what drives the world, and that's not, you know, buying a woman 10,000 roses.
Sure.
It's just being there for someone.
You can't replace like just being in a healthy relationship with doing a nice thing every now and then. You know, I think people try and make up for shit behaviour with
true,
buying shit.
Oh, the amount of people that will be going into this Valentine's Day this year with, they'll be in the doghouse and they're like, I'm going to pull out all the stops.
If I'm really honest, like, I think male insecurity plays into these situations so much, you know, like men are like so confused and immature, really, especially when it comes to relationship. They're like growing up, and like how many people you've had sex with is a big deal, and even if you don't think it consciously, it's there in the back of your mind
when you've had a few pints and all that,
and
like,
you just like
and
it's always, and it doesn't really, it's not conducive to being like respectful to the people you're dating always.
It's the thing, men are trash. And I can't argue sometimes.
Men are pretty shit. But also, do you know, like, someone said this to me on like Tinder a while ago, and they were just like, yeah, men are shit, but we now live in an age where like the men who like say men are shit are also just like doubly shit.
Yeah.
It's like such a trope. It's kind of like these soft boys who like are like, yeah, no, I'm really progressive and I really understand, but like, can you send me some nudes?
Men are trash, but if you got nudes, that's okay.
Men are shit. Quote 2019. By shit men. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what she said to me, and I was like, yeah, that is accurate.
Men are clever, men are working out the system. You just mentioned like Tinder and stuff like that. Do you think like the notion of love and stuff is like becoming even more superficial? I think even 10 years ago, people had decided, Valentine's Day is a bit of a, you know, just a money maker, a bit of a corporate machine, and like, internet dating is like ramped up. Like, say 10 years ago you said I'm internet dating, I'd be like, Charlie, internet dating,
yeah, you're
sure,
45 in Malone, like,
and I think people, everyone's on Tinder now, or some sort of, I was on it in the past, I'm not on it right now, but like, I've participated in that, and I'll be there saying, you know, it stresses people out, it's not good for people, but I've participated.
It's like anything, isn't it? Like, there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. The trouble is obviously it's like, can be quite addictive. I used to find it quite addictive, to be honest, like just someone who wanted to feel attractive or whatever.
You can put up the best photos.
Yeah, man.
Here's the highlight reel.
I'm just so insecure, really. Like, and it like feels like it's helping, but like it probably doesn't actually in the short term.
Did starting Hopeful Traders, did that change your feelings towards your relationships? You know, beyond helping homeless people, because you would have been, you know, you've spoken to a lot of people that have had very difficult lives and have very unique perspectives that the rest of us can't appreciate sometimes. Like, how's that affected you?
I've always been hyper aware that I'm very privileged and I don't really know what it's like to really struggle. Like, you know, I've never really been at risk of homelessness, as a lot of people are, and like, then meeting people who have been homeless or in danger of being homeless, or who just get by on, like, you know, being on benefits or whatever, it does change your perspective. I can never fully, having said that though, like I can never fully understand what that is like, because I haven't lived through it.
No, I agree, like, so the reason I wanted to work with you again is I felt this, people started talking about, Valentine's Day and what they're going to do to celebrate it, and I have had a reasonable love life. It hasn't been good, hasn't been bad, but I've never felt like I have to do something big for it. Valentine's Day shouldn't necessarily be about me buying roses or chocolates or something. Maybe, we can actually show love to people we haven't even met, but, be aware of our own privilege.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to work on this again. Like, any holiday or like celebration of one thing will highlight people who are not able to celebrate it.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing about, even Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so easy, and yeah, people do volunteering and stuff, but it's like one day a year that people do volunteering. But there's a lot of people who don't really get to celebrate Christmas in the way that the common perception of it is. Family, lots of gifts, lots of food. Plenty of people don't have any of those things really at Christmas, and it's highlighted by the fact that everyone else has it. Even like what we're doing here, where you can just like buy meals for someone to pick up at Canvas Cafe, like it's not a lot of effort really, and it's at a time of year when it's just going to go a lot further,
Yeah, people can say as well.
It's cold as fuck this time of year as well. Like
people can say, "Oh, I did go on a date, and I bought a meal that meant a hell of a lot more than trying to get laid or trying to, do it for Instagram. This meal can actually. This will be the most important date you might ever buy for someone. This really is, and whether you're got 10 dates set up and you're a bit of a dirtbag doing that, then chuck in another one. We're not asking for a lot, just one meal for a homeless person. But if you are feeling lonely, and I'm sure many people are, there's a lot of other people like that, and there's people that can really use your help. So everyone's useful in this scenario. Everyone can be there for someone.
Yeah.